weight loss game changer. Packing on the pounds? Your thyroid may be to blame.
It might just be the way you salt your food.
3 everyday triggers you can control starting now. Plus, Bishop T.D. Jakes.
I want to show you how to get back on track and step into your destiny.
Coming up next.
Courage is born out of fear. Feel the fear and do it anyway.
We'll save lives today.
You guys ready to get healthy?
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It is Game Changer Day. And the game that we're changing is weight loss. Now, there are 3 everyday triggers that can be slowing down your thyroid and causing your weight gain. You know what? It's not your fault. Today, I want you to find out how you can fix it. Then we're also going to go inside the 2 weight loss surgeries that I believe you should consider if you can't get off those pesky pounds. And the biggest game changer of all, you can learn to follow your destiny and find your true purpose in life. But first, let's talk about that extra weight you may have gained that you can't get off. You may be wondering if it's your thyroid, and you might be right. Joining me is integrative women's health expert, Dr. Aviva Ram, who knows all things thyroid. Before we get into nitty-gritty, how important is your actual behavior, the way you cope with life, to your thyroid function?
It's actually significantly important. What a lot of people don't realize is that stress can slow down the thyroid. And stress isn't just what we think about, like emotional stress or we're worrying a lot. It can be over-exercising. It can be letting our blood sugar get too low too often or for too long. And that can make your thyroid slow down.
Yeah, our body has learned to cope in that way for all of our evolution. How about lifestyle changes? Are they really as powerful as some might think in controlling the thyroid?
Absolutely. I mean, just even addressing some of the things we just talked about, like making sure you're not exercising too much and stressing your body out, keeping your blood sugar steady, and then working on controlling stress can actually improve your thyroid function.
Everyone's going to hear you talking about exercise. They're going to stop exercising completely.
No, we don't want them to do that.
I see you all thinking this. That 1 run a month is too much.
Well,
right.
over-exercising is a surprising problem, but it's not just basic exercise. No.
All right, let's look at the first trigger. It might just be the way you salt your food every day.
What kind of salt do you use? Thanks to cooking shows and websites, we all now know kosher salt and sea salt makes food more flavorful. And some of us have cut down or given up salt altogether for our health. But no table salt means less iodine, a key chemical that regulates your thyroid. So if you've accidentally lowered your iodine intake by cutting out table salt, you could be triggering your thyroid to slow down and the weight to pack on.
Interesting possible cause. So let me ask you guys a question. What kind of salt do you use? Do you use table salt, the old-fashioned kind? You use kosher salt? Going to be a little extra healthy? You would use sea salt? Well, let me hear some voices. What do you use? You're very. How are you?
Kosher salt. Hi, how are you?
How are you?
Good,
Why
thank
kosher
you.
salt?
I heard that it's a little bit healthier for you, and I personally like it because it's not so salty like iodized salt. So it's a little bit lighter, and I think I can control it more because it has bigger flakes versus it being tiny.
It is a bit bigger. How about sea salt? Who are sea salt users? Oh, got a whole bunch over here. Why do you use sea salt?
Because it's less processed than regular table salt, and I actually, unlike the other lady, I like the small flakes. The smaller flakes. I feel like with kosher salt, I can't get the control as much as I want to, and with the sea salt, I can.
I love this. We're so different. All of us are. It's fantastic. And some of us have big flakes and small flakes. It's better tasting, worse tasting. Interestingly, many of us aren't using table salt anymore. And table salt, yes, you know, sometimes it's made with caking agents and things like that you don't want. But actually, it turns out that inside of that salt was iodine. And so you don't have any iodine in your diet, that can lead to some of the problems Dr. Ram was speaking about. So you can get iodine without using salt, right? Seaweed has iodine. And all you heavy exercisers out there, you can also probably be using seaweed in your diet. But interestingly, you can also just use dulse, which is a kind of seaweed that's, you know, like a flavoring agent you can just add without having to have a whole main course of seaweed. Or a little quick tip, everybody, a pinch of table salt. Just a pinch every day. Just a little bit. And then you can use the regular other kind of salt that you like. All right, we're on with that. Let's get to our next thyroid trigger. It's excess gluten in your diet.
If you like your breads, crackers, cereal, and pasta, all that gluten could be causing a leak in your gut that attacks your thyroid. That's how imbalances in your gut could trigger thyroid problems and cause you to gain weight.
So Dr. Graham, how do you discover if gluten is actually the hidden culprit for your thyroid problems?
The easiest and best way to discover if gluten is a problem for you is to do what's called an elimination diet. It's the gold standard for how we detect gluten intolerance and gluten sensitivities. And all you really have to do is take gluten out of your diet for about 10 days. If you feel awesome when you're off of it, that's a good answer that it might be a trigger for you. If you reintroduce it and you feel your symptoms come back, probably a good thing to keep it out of your diet.
Yeah, I'm pointing this out again. This gluten issue is big because everyone thinks you're going to have stomach pain with gluten. You don't have to. It can present with your hormones. The last thyroid trigger could be the chemicals that you're inadvertently cooking with.
Do you keep your diet healthy, yet you've still got problems with your weight? It could be the chemicals in your food, like the mercury in your tuna, swordfish, or mackerel. Your canned goods that leak BPAs from the lining of the can, or the coating on your nonstick pots and pans that contain endocrine disruptors. One or all of these chemicals could be triggering your thyroid and making you gain weight.
I think deep in our souls, a lot of us are worried about all the chemicals in the environment, but how do they specifically affect your thyroid?
They have two impacts on the thyroid. One is they cause inflammation generally in your body. When you have inflammation in your body, it can cause inflammation in the thyroid, and that can make the thyroid start to attack itself, and that's how you get diseases like Hashimoto's, which is autoimmune. The other thing is some of these chemicals actually bind directly to the thyroid, and they kick off some of the important nutrients that need to bind to the thyroid in those places, so it makes the thyroid just not turn on. The switches that are supposed to go in there and turn it on don't turn it on.
So let's say we make these lifestyle switches. We talk about the stress. We use a pinch of table salt once a day. We're careful about our gluten. We're thoughtful about toxins. How long until our thyroid begins to work with us instead of against us?
It takes about 6 weeks for thyroid hormones to re-regulate. So I tell my patients, I tell people who are asking this question, give it a good 6 weeks before you make a determination whether that thing that you're changing is changing your thyroid. And it really doesn't happen overnight. So if you're trying these things, don't quit. Give it enough time to really see that impact.
Yeah, I lived through this because my thyroid was not functioning normally. I've had issues with all kinds of toxins in my body. Some of us clear things differently. But it meant a lot to me when I was able to go back and pick out the things that made a huge difference. And it took that long.
Yeah, it takes a while. It takes a while, but when you feel that difference,
it's worth the investment.
Yeah.
All right, coming up, Dr. Ram has some must-see ideas to speed up your thyroid that you can't miss. That's next.
Next, could these kitchen staples you use every day be the reason your thyroid is on the fritz? We have the tools you need to start healing it today. Game-changing solutions to boost and speed up your thyroid right from home. Coming up.
Money, money, money. We are literally worrying ourselves sick over it. My Credit Clinic helps you strip away money stress. Plus, what your hairbrush is trying to tell you about your health. All new Oz.
That's coming up on Monday on Dr. Oz.
If you think you have a thyroid issue, integrative health expert Dr. Viva Ram has the tools that you need. Let's get to the first way you can heal and boost your thyroid. It has to do with a thyroid power nut. Please explain this to everybody.
Power nuts. It sounds like Powerball or like some game or something.
I want to
but
gamble
really,
with these.
Yeah, it's really simple. Brazil nuts are high in selenium, and selenium is one of the major foods that our thyroids need to function well. 2 Brazil nuts a day, all you need to keep that thyroid nourished with selenium.
Okay, the next way to heal and boost your thyroid has to do with zinc. I know we'd come to this eventually. This is something that in patients who have surgery is often really low. So we actually give it back to them because it helps with their taste buds and the like.
Exactly.
But you like it for the thyroid.
I do. So one of the reasons that we can get problems with our thyroid is something called leaky gut. What happens is when we eat foods like gluten that cause our gut to get inflamed and irritated, it can actually have a downstream effect, causing some autoimmunity in the thyroid. And one of the best supplements for healing the gut lining and repairing that damage is zinc. And you can get it really easily, either in your diet with pumpkin seeds, oysters, cashews, yogurt, all rich sources of zinc, or you can take a zinc supplement. And you really don't need much. It's about 8 milligrams a day that's recommended for most people. So.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then the next idea has to do with our cooking habits. Now, before we talk about the solutions, I want to have a couple members of our audience play a little game with us. Not really a game, it's an audit, so to speak. And Tekla and Joella, you guys are both concerned about some of the products that you have in your home. So you brought in a few items, and I just want to make it obvious how easy it is to make mistakes, even if you think you're doing all the right things. So, Dr. go through their pantry.
Sure, so this is really surprising. You don't realize some of the things that you're actually storing your food in can be affecting your thyroid. So we took a look at some of these products before the show, and this is great. You've got kidney beans, you're getting beans in your diet, but what we discovered is that these are not BPA-free cans, and BPA is one of the chemicals. It's a plastic lining that can cause some interaction with your thyroid and make your thyroid slow down.
Oh, wow.
Now, this one also was not BPA-free, but we did notice that it had some sea salt in it, which is great.
Okay, great, awesome.
And then you guys brought in these storage containers.
I thought you wanted to have table salt more than sea salt.
Well, as long as it has iodine in the table salt, then it's good. But sea salt comes from the sea, so it's got a little bit of iodine in it. It's just you want to make sure that you're getting enough. So like you said, add a little bit of iodized salt every day. But sea salt's great, and it's better than table salt with no iodine.
And just one more issue on these cans. A lot of folks will save doing the dishes. They'll just take the can, eat half of it, and store the rest in the can. Just,
and put it in the refrigerator.
It's efficient, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Yeah, so we want to make sure that the storage containers that we're putting our food in aren't also leaching out chemicals that can have a problem with our thyroid. Now, we took a look at these, and there was nothing on the containers that specifically said they were BPA-free, but we looked at the packaging, which you brought in, and that did say BPA-free. So next time you go and buy storage containers, make sure that you actually look at the packaging, and you can use plastic storage containers, or you can use glass, which then you don't have to worry about the BPA in it.
Okay.
So nicely
I
done.
hope that's helpful.
Thank you.
Let's give folks a few other tips about what they should be buying and changing in their cooking. So we talked about these containers. Make sure it says somewhere on there. I know I always have glass containers.
Yes.
Lisa's rigid about this. She won't let me use any plastic because she says I'll microwave in the plastic.
Right, and that's a big thing.
Yeah.
So
But she's right,
I'm
I
also
would.
really strict about using glass at home. But if you do use plastic, because it's lighter, it's easy to carry to work, just don't heat up in your plastic. Switch to glass if you're going to heat up in the microwave.
Okay, and then you've got different kinds of containers. I know that you can get vegetable broth in many different solutions.
Yeah, you can get soups in containers. So you want to either use BPA-free cans or use foods that come in other containers, like artichoke hearts, for example. Most of us think about buying those in cans, but it comes in glass, and so do so many other things that we purchase. And a lot of things now come in these BPA-free cardboard containers.
Are all the cardboard containers BPA-free?
I don't think all of them are. You want to make sure that you look on it, because they can still have a liner that says that has BPA, so you want to be careful about that.
Thanks for the wonderful advice.
My
Thanks for bringing it to
pleasure.
our audience. Up next, a game changer in weight loss as we go inside the 2 best weight loss surgeries, and one of them is brand new. You've probably never heard of it.
Next, thought you weren't a candidate for weight loss surgery? We're about to change your mind. 2 of the fastest growing procedures the medical world is excited about. They may be the solutions you've been searching for to drop those pounds. Coming up.
If you think you're not a candidate for weight loss surgery, today's show may change your mind. I'm a passionate believer that weight loss surgeries are the most underperformed procedures in this country. 2 procedures in particular are changing the landscape of the bariatric world, and may be the answer many more people are looking for. One procedure is brand new, is recently approved by the FDA, and one of these procedures has been time-tested and perfected and is the fastest growing surgery in the bariatric world. 2 different procedures. So today, we're gonna bring you inside these new surgeries and follow 2 women who made the decision to give them a shot. One gets one gets the other. And before you meet them, let me introduce you to both the procedures. The first procedure I'm gonna talk about is the newest one. It's called the balloon. It's placed non-invasively, so you're not anesthetized, you just put a little sleepy. A tube's put down your throat, into your stomach, and this balloon is expanded. Look how much room it takes up in there. And then once it's in the stomach and it's infused with that saline, the balloon is left behind. The endoscope is taken out. Now, when you eat, the balloon, which is still in the stomach, makes you feel fuller faster. It's like you've got a big turkey in there taking up space. So you feel like you've had a Thanksgiving meal all the time. You don't want to eat very much. Now, after you've lost the weight and your lifestyle is adjusted, let's say 6 months later, the endoscope is placed back in there, the saline, the salt solution is pulled out of the balloon and it's removed from your mouth, and you're back the way you were. No cuts, no bruises, pretty straightforward. Now you can see why for a lot of folks who don't have a ton of weight to lose, this might be an interesting option. Then there's the other operation, the gastric sleeve, the really popular one now. Ports are placed around the belly, no big incision. The surgeon goes through these little ports with a scope, and then using a stapler, all these hormones that are released from the greater curvature of the stomach, they're removed. Those are the hunger hormones. So the stomach's made a lot smaller. Literally, the stomach originally was 10 times bigger than what's left behind. You're left with a little pouch about the size of a banana, and because you removed all that part of the stomach that signals that you're supposed to be hungry, the stomach now sends signals to the body saying you don't have to eat. So guess what? You don't, and then you'll lose weight. The sleeve, although it helps with a lot of weight loss, is permanent, unlike the balloon that I talked about earlier. So could the balloon or the gastric sleeve be the weight loss answer that you've been searching for? I want you to meet the two women who've decided to find out.
My name is Sheena, and I'm 33 years old. For most of my adult life, I've wrestled with my weight. As a teenager, I was very slim. But when I turned 18, I decided to go on birth control, and I went from a size 6 to a size 12 in a matter of 6 months. And that's when the struggle with my weight began.
My name's Kelly, and I'm 50 years old. I'm a married mother of 2 teen boys. Ever since high school, I was struggling with weight. Dieting has become more a way of life for me. Everything from the grapefruit diet to the cabbage soup diet, just about anything you can think of, I've tried it.
I did everything to lose the weight. I went to a nutritionist. I was running, I was buying weight loss pills. I lost some of the weight, but then I kind of plateaued, and then I just started gaining weight.
I still eat healthy, and I'm still gaining weight.
I haven't been able to maintain a healthy weight in a long time. And it's been impossible for me to lose the weight on my own.
I'm 50, and at this time in my life, I want to get my weight under control. I've chosen the gastric balloon procedure because it's not as invasive as the gastric bypass and those types of procedures.
So at this point in my life, I truly believe that the gastric sleeve is the best option for my life to get rid of the weight once and for all.
What I want from this is me to just be healthy. I'm not nervous, and I trust my doctor.
This morning I'm here for my gastric sleeve surgery, and I'm super excited. I'm anxious, I'm nervous, but I'm ready to have this done.
Were the surgeries successful? Find out how Sheena and Kelly did post-op and how much weight they've lost when we come back.
Next, could a balloon or sleeve be the weight loss answer you've been waiting for? We're checking in with our 2 patients to hear and see their results.
There's a balloon in there?
See if one of these 2 new procedures is right for you too. Coming up.
Money. We are literally worrying ourselves sick over it. My Credit Clinic helps you strip away money stress. There are 3 things more important than your credit score. Plus, health advice from an unlikely place. What your hairbrush is trying to tell you.
Oh my goodness, what is going on here?
All new Oz.
That's coming up on Monday on Dr. Oz.
It was all very painless, very easy. There's part of me that's like, really? There's a balloon in there? All right. I never would have expected it to be this easy.
It's week 1 post-op, and I'm feeling really good. My face is looking a lot smaller, especially my cheekbones. I feel like I'm losing weight, but I'm not sure. I haven't weighed myself. I have a little bit of tenderness since I've had the surgery.
Today, the changing faces of bariatric surgery. Kelly and Sheena are with us, along with their bariatric surgeons, Dr. Michael Snyder and Dr. Marina Horga. So let me start with Kelly. So you had the balloon procedure placed just a few weeks ago, I guess.
Correct.
What was it like those first few days?
First few days I was nauseous and very tired because of the medications I was on, which helped me just relax. But I was back to work by the 3rd day after.
By the 3rd day?
Yes. I wouldn't recommend it, but yes. But it was a little dicey, but I got there, so.
And how much less are you eating now than before you had the balloon placed?
Quite a bit, and really you're geared more towards
breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now I'm more geared towards snacks throughout the day, a little more grazing than just 3 major meals. So.
And the question I think everyone wants to know is, I know it's only been a little bit of time, but how much weight have you lost so far?
13 pounds over the 2 weeks.
13 pounds. No medication, nothing else, just in the balloon.
Correct.
Dr. Snyder, you're one of the first physicians in the country to use this procedure. Is this something that you're seeing commonly, and who makes someone a good candidate for the balloon?
So a good candidate, first of all, like Kelly, is someone who's willing to commit to a major lifestyle and behavioral change for a year. It's a year-long program, 6 months with the balloon, 6 months without. And then someone who doesn't qualify or who isn't interested in the other technologies I do, like bypass sleeve band.
And what are the risks? I mean, any procedure has some.
Well, this is mostly the risk is of an endoscopy, which is relatively nominal, like you picture that twilight sleep. Then the first few days is getting over surgery or getting over the procedure, which is the queasiness some people have. We give medication for that, and that's why we recommend taking about 3 days off of work just to get used to that feeling of fullness, and your brain figures it out in about 3 days.
Whenever a procedure is brand new, having lived through this in some new procedures we do for the heart, it takes a while for insurance companies to catch up. So are they paying for this yet?
It was just approved in August of this year, so it usually takes 2 to 3 years for the insurance companies to kind of catch up. Right now it costs about $7,000 to $9,000, and everyone has to pay out of pocket for that. But really that's about the amount of money that people are spending right now in their weight loss efforts if they're trying to lose weight, so it's a wash for them.
That's how much we spend with the gym membership and the different clubs we join?
It's actually usually more than that, but that's really the average.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Is that how much you were spending?
Probably, if you think of the different diet plans I've gone through over the years.
So it might actually be cost effective even if insurance is not paying for it.
Absolutely.
Now, Sheena, you had the more traditional procedure, the gastric sleeve, and that requires, I would think, bigger adjustments than just having the balloon. How's that been for you?
The adjustment has been, it's a change. I'm a mom on the go. I have 3 kids, so everything I do is very fast-paced. I eat really fast. And with the gastric sleeve, I've had to really just take my time and slow down and properly digest the food, which is...
Yeah, life's not the same,
No.
which is okay in some ways.
Yes.
The slowing down actually has other benefits. Now, Kurian, who makes someone a perfect candidate for the sleeve?
So gastric sleeve, like gastric bypass, and even banding, you still, for insurance coverage, you need to be about 100 pounds overweight with health conditions like diabetes or high blood pressure, sleep apnea. And in Sheena's case, she didn't have high blood pressure or diabetes, but based on weight and her height, her BMI, which I know your show knows all about it, BMI, she definitely met criteria. And what was interesting, what we discussed, is that she chose to do this because of the way she was feeling rather than she felt like she had to because of a health condition. But overall, obesity itself is a disease, and it is a severe health condition.
How do you prepare someone to have one of these operations so they actually think they'll get the result? Because listen, what I'm always hearing when I talk to folks about bariatric surgery are these horror stories that they've read in the press about people who had it and didn't work and they got messed up, and it's actually, from my experience, been incredibly effective.
Yes. Much like the balloon, which is dietary counseling for a year, this is actually lifelong dietary counseling and meeting with your surgeon just to make sure that you're staying on track. We have them go through a certain process before surgery, 2 weeks of a preoperative diet to help them shrink their liver. And then in my practice, I have them on 2 weeks of liquids after and 2 weeks of a puree to help them heal their sleeves so that they don't run into any problems. And with that, once they start real food, they're eating very small portions. And the great thing about the sleeve is that you do it and you're not worried about bowel obstruction or anything later, right? So all the risks are pretty much around the time of surgery where we worry about leak or bleeding or infection, which, as you know from doing heart surgery, it's sort of the same thing. But that's the immediate concerns. That's part of the reason why she's on a restricted diet, just to allow the sleeve to heal.
So the big question, if you're willing to share it with us, how much weight have you lost so far?
It's been 4 weeks, and I've lost 29 pounds.
That's a lot of weight loss. So Kelly and Sheena are at the start of their weight loss journey. Now, if you're willing to do this, you're going to tell your story to us throughout the year.
Yes.
Because I want to look at all the warts and the pimples, but also the reality of what this can do for you. So we're going to know over the following months, follow their story, and also how much weight they're losing. You can also check out their journey on our YouTube channel, because it'll be all there. Up next, what's stopping you from finding your destiny? Bishop T.D. Jakes is here with his advice on finding your life's truest purpose. This is important stuff. Stay with us.
Next, meet another game changer, a prolific bishop with words to live by.
The purpose is the why. The destiny is the where.
Bishop T.D. Jakes shows you how embracing your purpose in life can lead to your true destiny. Next.
Let's start with a question for everyone in the audience, and you guys at home think about this as well. How many of you have had something happen in your life that you never planned, never expected, and perhaps never would have wanted, yet it completely changed your life for the better? Right. I'm in that group. I think most of us, we think about it, really are. There's another word for this. It is destiny. Today you're going to meet Bishop T.D. Jakes, and he says if you embrace your purpose in life, it will lead you to your true destiny.
You ought to blow the devil's mind this morning.
T.D. Jakes, bishop, filmmaker, and best-selling author of over 25 books, may well be America's most popular and influential preacher since Billy Graham.
I feel a determination in here this morning. I feel a fight in here this morning.
His impassioned sermons are legendary and have helped fill his megachurch, the Potter's House, with over 30,000 members. And his revival meeting, MegaFest, draws a crowd of more than 100,000. Bishop Jakes also leads prayer services for high-profile believers, including Oprah, President Barack Obama, and former President George W. Bush, who describes Jakes as a kind of man who puts faith into action. Today, T.D. Jakes turns his preaching into practice and gives you a plan to find your life's purpose.
T.D. Jakes. Joe, I'm excited to see you as I am.
I'm excited to be here with you.
Brand new book, Destiny, Step into Your Purpose. I want to talk about this because there's so many wonderful insights you offer us, but how is destiny tied to your purpose in life?
You know, when you think of destiny, to demystify destiny, let's think of it in terms of destination. And if life came with the GPS system, the first thing you set is your destination, and then it routes you to that end. We're working, and sometimes we have no route to where we're trying to go. We're just trying to survive and wondering why we're not fulfilled. When you deal with the destiny, then comes the purpose. The purpose is the why. The destiny is the where.
Is that, yeah, it's a hallelujah too, that's right.
I got an amen quarter in here. Wow.
I think folks deep in their soul realize that they need to have a destination to head to, but they can't grab it.
Right.
What is holding them back? Is it the purpose by itself?
I don't think it's the purpose alone. Destiny always leaves clues. And one of those clues is passion. We don't spend enough time to be introspective, to really listen at ourselves. What motivates you? Those are clues that will put you in the field of your destiny. It might not put you in the exact position, but it will put you in the arena of where you are best gifted and best suited.
Yeah, you know what I see all the time? Folks who process this kind of wonderful wisdom, then they get distracted in life.
Yes.
Because we live in a life where there are lots of reasons to not pay attention to what's important.
I have been one of those people. I don't know anybody who hasn't gotten off course or gotten distracted. We get distracted by the situations and circumstances. But one of the things that I'm teaching in this book is don't get distracted by a situation you're going to leave.
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
that's right. So well stated.
You understand? A lot of times we are busy trying to fix things that don't matter. We're trying to fix things that we can't fix. We're trying to fix the past. We're trying to respond to voices that are criticizing us from the grave. Yeah. Why are we trying to fix yesterday? A lot of times we are distracted by today. If you understand that your next step is going to bring you into tomorrow, then you'll move away from worrying about today.
And we got a whole revival service here. Let me read a quote from the book, if I can.
Sure.
It's on page 35. It says, when your life is ordered, setbacks and disappointments are regarded as commas. Mm-hmm. Setbacks and disappointments regarded as commas and not periods that punctuate your life story.
Absolutely. And when you have a comma, take a deep breath, steady yourself, and say to yourself, this is not the end. This is a moment for me to breathe, ingest, and take in what happened, to extract the wisdom out of the situation, the power out of the pain, and then keep it moving.
And what do you do when there are folks that you love dearly that don't embrace you when you do this. They actually resist it. And it becomes a real upstream battle just to do what you think is your destiny.
It is, because we are very emotional and we have emotions, but we can't let emotions have us. You know, when I use the term step into your purpose, it's the weirdest thing I learned about walking up steps. You would think that it is the step that you step on that creaks. It's not. It's the one you step from. Anytime you move your weight from where you used to be, somebody who knew you back then is going to make some kind of noise about it. Dr. Art, I noticed I have never in my life had a hater that was doing better than me. Come on now, you know I'm right about it.
Yeah, you're right.
There's always somebody that when you stepped off of that step, they're throwing rocks up there at you, trying to knock you down off of your post, because people who live on purpose don't have time to meddle in other people's business. They're not that interested. They're focused. They'll give you permission to go on with your life. It is the people who are confused and resentful because you did not sit in the confusion with them that try to terminate your destination.
God bless you, Bishop Jakes. Oh, listen, when we come back, TD Jakes has a plan to help you fulfill your destiny. That is next. Next, are you having a hard time reaching your life's goals? Bishop TD Jakes says it's within your grasp if you are willing to do the work. His plan to show us how. Find out what's holding you back and how to get more out of life. Coming up.
Money, money, money. We are literally worrying ourselves sick over it. My Credit Clinic helps you strip away money stress. Plus, what your hairbrush is trying to tell you about your health. All new Oz.
That's coming up on Monday on Dr. Oz.
I feel stuck, and most times I feel scared because it's like I'm not in control of my own life. Doing the same thing every day. I get up, I go to work, I come back home, I go to bed. I feel like there's another life that I should be living, but I don't know how to get there. I don't know where to start. Honestly, I don't even know if that exists. I need help.
Just like Elisa, we all want to find our purpose in life, and Bishop T.D. Jakes, author of Destiny, Step Into Your Purpose, says is within your grasp if you're willing to do the work. So Lisa, how long have you felt like this, like you weren't living the life you're supposed to be living?
Honestly, it's a few years ago, everything just started to slow down. Life started to slow down, but up until 2 years ago, that's when I realized that I was at a standstill in life and nothing was moving.
What's holding you back, do you think?
There are a lot of things, but those are my top 5. My finances, education.
Well, those 2 right there are enough, probably, without getting to the other 5.
I mean, I have low self-esteem, the fear,
Yeah. Well, fear dominates all of us. And none of us are without the kinds of things that you're holding up right now, is saying this is what's holding me back.
Right.
But we want to get past that. So here's the deal. If you're starting out in life, if you're trying to start over, like Elisa here, if you're doing fantastically well, everybody, but you know you can go even deeper, you go past what you've achieved, Bishop Jakes says wherever you are, you can still step up and fulfill your destiny to an even greater level. So we live in a quick fix society. How do you figure out your destiny quickly? So you're not listing 5 things and getting stumped and trumped by them.
Well, it's a lot of things. So one of the things, break your pattern. Your pattern is your prison.
Okay.
Your pattern is your prison. Everything that you just said that's predictable about yourself, break it. I don't care if it's as simple as changing the route home, changing the people you go around. Right. And then all throughout your tape, you kept talking about how you feel, but you can't make changes based on feelings. This is not feelings, it's strategy. So if you're going to go back to school, if you're going to take a night class through your computer, if it's only one class, if it's only one course, don't worry about long-term goals. You don't have to feel it, just do it.
Just do it.
Now, when it comes to the fear, I think fear is a good thing.
Really?
I think fear is a good thing. I do think fear is a good thing. I think it's good to have fear. It's not good for fear to have you.
Right. That's true.
Okay.
So listen, Mr. Jakes says, your journey comes together with your purpose. They travel together. So you're going to stay here for a second. We're going to take a little journey together with Bishop Jakes. We're going to come back to you. I want to see how this impacts on you.
Okay.
At least in everybody else. All right, come on over. The first step, Bishop Jakes, we're going to talk about has to do with instinct.
Yes.
Now, you touched on this a couple times, but instinct to you is not the same as a gut feeling of what is right.
No. This is that instinct that she's having right now that says, something's wrong with me being here. It's not intuitiveness. It's not whether you should buy a red dress or a blue dress, should I date Fred or date David. It is that feeling that I've come to a time in my life that I need someone in my life, or I've come in the time of my life that I need to shift. That instinct is an indication that there is unrest because something is out of place.
So I love the fact it's not just about emotions.
No.
It's about tactics. All right.
Well, I want to say something else.
Please.
It is much like sea turtles.
You're the bishop.
Yes. It is much like sea turtles who are born on land, never been in the sea. They are hatched in sand, and the mother is gone. The moment they come forth, they migrate to the water. There are certain things that we migrate toward because there's something in us that says, I would do well in that environment. When you sense that pull toward it, even if it's new, step into it. You'll find out you can swim.
I love it. In order to follow your destiny, you have to move towards fulfillment. I'm asking you to define these words because you're so good at it, but we get caught up in this all the time, like Elisa.
You know, fulfillment is very, very important. We get frustrated. Really, much of life is based on supply and demand. If there's a demand for something that I can supply, I feel good about it. But when my life is demanding things that are outside of my inventory, I get frustrated. Yeah. Fulfillment comes, the satiety of fulfillment comes when your life has put you in a situation where it is demanding, but you can fulfill the order.
Oh, I love this. I love this. All right, let's finish up. As you walk down our destiny, we do have to figure out what's really important to us and what's
really
not.
Important? What's really important, what are your priorities? You can't take on other people's priorities. Your crisis is not my emergency. You have to have the courage. It is not where we want to go that is the hardest thing to figure out. It is what we are willing to leave behind to get there.
Oh, I love this. I love this.
You understand?
Yeah, and it's not mean when you say it that way. No. You're not trying to be harsh.
No.
Elisa, let me bring you back in here. There are a lot of folks like Elisa.
Yes.
Who are hearing this all right now, and I hope you process that.
Yes.
And they want to know today, what's the first thing I should do to get on this road towards my destiny?
Break out of your pattern, break out of your routine, get on the internet, find something that you can do, bring it, stop the story that you're telling to yourself. I don't have enough money, I don't have enough this. There are too many things that are free. There are too many things that you can volunteer and do. If you can't get hired into it, volunteer an hour out of your day into a world you have never been in before.
Okay.
The other thing I want to tell you, if you live in a world where everybody's pulling on you, drawing from you, and you are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Yeah, you're in the wrong room. Get in a room that scares you. Okay. Get in a room that makes you read. Get in a room that makes you careful to talk because you don't want to make a fool out of yourself because you created a space to grow and you are on the road to destiny.
Okay.
So what did you resonate with the most on our little journey towards destiny here? What caught your attention? What's your step today?
Instinct. Because, you know, I put my mind to it and I just, you know, without fear, without anything, I just go into it and accomplish it, get it done, you know, and just continue on the road.
It's where your natural talent lies. You find that and you walk into a room that's a little different from the one you're in now. Thank you for sharing your story.
Awesome.
We'll be with you. Bishop, I love meeting you. Take care. We'll be right back. All this season, we're celebrating our nation's nurses. We're calling our campaign #NurseNation. And at the heart of it, our search for a nurse to join our core team of experts to provide wisdom, commentary, and advice. Now we're introducing our candidates, and we want you to weigh in. All this week, you can go to DrOz.com and tell us your favorite. We'll announce our choice on November 25th. Show your appreciation and be a part of #NurseSearch. Money, money, money. We are literally worrying ourselves sick over it. My Credit Clinic helps you strip away money stress. Plus, what your hairbrush is trying to tell you about your health. All new Oz. That's coming up on Monday on Dr. Oz. Tomorrow, you'll be talking about healthy, no-bake apple pie protein bars. With Thanksgiving just around the corner, there's nothing better than homemade apple pie. Or is there? Megan is joining me. She is the ultimate Pinterest mom and is always looking for healthy alternatives to tasty treats. Sarah, how'd you come up with this idea?
Well, I like to go on Pinterest to get different ideas for my son. He's 3 years old, and so I was looking for something different and healthy for him to snack on, either at breakfast or snack at school or snack after school, and here we go.
All right, so you're gonna show us how easy it is to make.
Yeah.
All right, put me to work.
Roll your sleeves up. We're gonna get dirty.
All right.
All right.
This is as high as they go with jackets on.
You're gonna dump some flour, and you have some coconut flour and some protein powder, and then we have nutmeg and cinnamon.
Start to mix it up then.
Dump all those in, and then we mix these up together till they're nice and mixed together. And then we're gonna add in some maple syrup.
I'm mixing.
Yeah, mix. And then we have some almond butter.
Yeah, there. Now
That's
they
good.
want to
This is what
taste the
helps it
results.
stick together a
It's
little
like having
bit.
little kids around you. You,
All right.
you need hands
And then
in
we're
here.
gonna keep on. Yep, put your hands in there. It helps get it nice and mush and grind it in there. Okay. And then we have applesauce.
Yeah, put that in there. This is everything an apple pie would have.
Everything. And then we have a little bit of almond milk. You ready?
Pour it in there. Now, while I'm doing this hard work, get that little other dish down there. This is what it's gonna look like after how many minutes of mixing it up like this? 3,
Probably
4?
2 or 3, not very long.
All right, so I'm gonna keep mixing here.
So then we have, this is the finished product here. You mix it all together. And then what you want to do is you're going to put it on a baking sheet that is lined with some wax paper. So you put it all down here and you're gonna kind of pound it out and spread it out into the wax paper. It's a little sticky, so you have to kind of push it and spread it out a little bit, but it works. It works.
Now, do you cook it? Do you put it in the fridge? You wait overnight? How does it actually
No,
evolve?
I actually just put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes and then say, come
That's
and get
it?
it, Judah. Yeah.
30 minutes?
That's it, yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna pass
really
out
easy.
some samples for some honest feedback from the audience. Meantime, we actually made a how-to video. So I'm on my Facebook page. Here's what it looks like. It's a sped-up version of this. So just in a few seconds, you can figure out how to do this. Go ahead and take a couple of these things. You're supposed to eat them. You can't take the plate home with you.
They're really good.
So what do you guys think about these things? Oh,
They're
I'll
great.
pass that along. They're really good. Here, take those.
Yeah,
Pass it
very
along.
tasty.
Hold on there. So what do you think?
Delicious.
Yeah, it's your mouth. Never take a big bite on television.
Very moist.
Yeah, it's much moister than
They're
I
great.
thought.
Yeah, they're gluten-free, dairy-free, nut-free, bake-free. Really easy. Just dump, mix with your hands. You get your hands dirty. Sometimes I have my son help me do it because he likes
Very
to get
smart.
dirty. Just mix it up, keeps him busy while I'm trying to be busy. So
It's a protein bar in a cake form. Thank you
Yeah.
very much,
You're
man.
welcome.
Nice job.
You're welcome.
And remember, health and happiness, it starts at home.
Like it?
They're really good.